Well, the house behind me, you can see, is gone. So is the one next to it, as well as one across the street. The weather, for the most part today, has been cooperating, but now the wind is starting to pick up again.
I was asleep, and I had a real strong smell of fire.
Matthew Valdivia's home on Viento Way is one of a half dozen that was lost or badly damaged in the pre-dawn fire that whipped through a San Bernardino neighborhood.
Went back into my room and I looked outside my back window. That's when I saw everything was just glowing in flames in the back of the house, or the mountain, I should say. So when that happened, I just woke up my wife and I told her, hey, get the kids. We have documents already on the side with birth certificates and social security numbers. Get in the car.
A few blocks away on Saturn Court, flames devoured more homes at the base of the hill near Highway 18. This woman's grandparents were out of town.
Yeah, the one that was on Saturn Court, it's gone. It's gone. I mean, they're not even in town. So it's just, there was nothing, barely anything was grabbed out of the house.
By midday, firefighters had 50% containment on the Hillside fire. Still, officials kept the evacuations in place for about 1,400 people because of what could still be coming.
We are not out of danger here. This fire anything could still happen. Until we have 100% containment and a line around this fire, we have to continue taking every precaution possible.
Ophelia and Eric Hernandez came back for the basics. They had to leave within minutes early this morning. The only way around police roadblocks was to hike in on foot.
It was very close. It was scary. I mean, you can feel the fire, you can feel the heat. So it was shocking.
We just got word that firefighters are going to be lifting the evacuations for 500 homes in this neighborhood at 6 o'clock tonight, although some of those people may not have power. As for the cause of this fire, investigators are saying they found the origin. It was in a turnout above me along Highway 18. They say that power lines are not involved in this fire, but they won't give a cause. That's the latest live in San Bernardino. I'm Michelle Gili. Back to you.
Thanks very much. Just a stone's throw from where Michelle was, a fast-moving fire broke out overnight in Jurupa Valley. The so-called 46 fire burned 300 acres. It's 15% contained. It damaged or destroyed 5 structures. All evacuations have been lifted now. The destructive fire was started from sparks from a stolen car pursuit.
Well, the American Red Cross is getting out the word for victims of the Hill and 46 fires. A shelter is open at Patriot High School in Jurupa Valley. Another is open at Pacific High School in San Bernardino. Besides shelter, they are offering food, personal hygiene items, emotional support, and health services.
As of this afternoon, thousands of people in Southern California are still in the dark. SoCal Edison's trying to prevent more fires. As of 3 o'clock this afternoon, there were still more than 57,000 Edison customers without electricity. And another 223,000 customers live in areas where SoCal Edison is considering more power outages. Most of those are in for or live near the mountains and passes where Santa Ana winds are more ferocious during the week.
And all of this really is incumbent on the kind of weather that we're going to be having, especially those winds. Garth?
Yeah, things are settling down for us. That's a fortunate thing. 78 degrees right now. Look at the humidity, 70% dew point down in the single digits as well. So it's dry out there, but these are the sustained winds right now. You can see along the coastal plain, we're starting to pick them up on shore. We're still coming offshore to the interior, but they are certainly manageable, at this point in time. We're a little bit warmer out there today. Fullerton 82, 74 at the airport, 67 in Oxnard, San Bernardino 75 out there. So it's certainly reasonable for the firefighters right now. We're going to have everything else coming up, including the red flag warning, which should be going down tonight. We will show you all that. Remember, kids are out trick-or-treating a lot of areas without power. Slow down as well. And if you get the opportunity, remember at some of these shelters where people have gone to and evacuated, there's children there. Maybe you can run by, drop some candy off for them for today so they can have some sort of a normal Halloween. We'll have the whole forecast coming up in a little bit. Back to you guys.
All right, good show. Thank you, Garth. Well, it was just 24 hours ago we were worried about the easy fire that sparked in Simi Valley, but crews are now getting the upper hand. All evacuation orders were lifted this morning. More than 1,700 acres burned, and firefighters tell us they have 60% containment tonight. Fire officials believe one home was burned. CBS 2's Amy Johnson is live in Simi Valley with more. Amy.
Pat, that's right, 60% containment. And we're standing over off the Tierra Rijada, and you can just see the massive amount of land that was charred here. Firefighters still on scene, mopping up hot spots, and it really is remarkable to see this site today after yesterday, all of this land burning beneath the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library.
It was really scary to see it close because from the cameras you could see the flame coming over the mountainside.
14-year-old Maddie Tran had a front row seat to the easy fire thanks to her doorbell camera.
I saw the fire come over and I saw a lot of firemen and police cars.
Crews were able to save the homes on the street, stopping the fire just feet away.
I'm just happy to be here, to see my house is here.
Evacuees like Lorelei Allenbaugh were able to return to their homes this morning. She wasn't sure she'd have a house to come home to.
It was pretty scary yesterday when everything was just kind of blowing up the hill. The unknown was probably the worst part of it, not knowing what was going on with our house.
About 700 firefighters are still in the area taking care of hot spots.
So we still have a lot of mopping, we call it mopping up to do, which means we go around and extinguish all these hot spots. The hot spots we're seeing right now, they're well within the burned area of the fire. So it's looking pretty good.
A different kind of mopping up or cleaning up in nearby Moore Park, where Phos-Chek was dropped to save homes after the fire jumped Highway 23. Now they're cleaning up the red retardant. Some did it on their own. Others got help from Gladright.
I grabbed my guy out here and I said, hey, let's do some community service today.
They cleaned driveways for free and gave discounts on houses.
You definitely need a little bit of power, and we have a little bit of heat so that we're able to take the Phos-Chek up very quickly, and we're saving the homeowners hours of time today.
And back here live, you can see firefighters there in the distance still working on hot spots in the area. We do still have a little wind out here, so they really just can't take anything for granted. This fire, again, 60% contained. It could take days before they have it 100% contained. In Simi Valley, Amy Johnson, CBS 2 News. I'll send it back.
All right, Amy, and stay with CBS 2 News for the latest on the brush fires in Southern California. And you can get the latest anytime on CBSLA.com and streaming 24/7 on CBSN Los Angeles.
And of course, they're not all brush fires. Flames shot from the roof of a Whittier church early this morning. Fire at the Good Shepherd Bible Church on Washington Avenue brought dozens of firefighters to the scene. They had ladder trucks and hoses trained on the flames, but the building's still a complete loss. A skip loader was later brought in to clear away the debris and bring down the rest of that church that hadn't collapsed. A key vote in the House of Representatives today on the next step in the impeachment inquiry investigation.
Yes, members voted mostly along party lines on rules for the next phase. CBS 2's Sandra Mitchell joins us now in studio to tell us what this all means.
I think it means that this all just got real, right? It's only happened about 4 times before in U.S. history. Congress now about to start the impeachment hearings on the president. Important vote today. 2 Democrats actually joined the Republicans to vote against the resolution.
On this vote, the yeas are 232. The nays are 196. The resolution is adopted.
The House moves forward, approving a resolution that will allow Congress to hold public impeachment hearings against President Trump.
We take no joy in having to move down this road and proceed with the impeachment inquiry, but neither do we shrink from it.
The president watched the vote at the White House and tweeted, "The greatest witch hunt in American history."
I guess it's only fitting you take this vote on Halloween.
The resolution designates open hearings and allows the president and his counsel to question witnesses. But the president has to cooperate with the House investigation or Democrats can strip his rights.
That's the equivalent of saying in the First Amendment, you have the right to the freedom of speech, but you can only say the words I agree with.
The investigation continued today behind closed doors. The president's outgoing Russia expert, Tim Morrison, was in the hot seat. He says at first he was not concerned about Mr. Trump's phone call with the president of Ukraine, but then he learned military aid was tied to Ukraine publicly announcing political investigations.
The allegations are as serious as it gets, endangering national security for political gain.
Our president was right in being concerned about corruption. Our president was right in wanting to look into interference in the 2016 election.
So all along, the president and Republicans have been complaining that this inquiry was being done in secret. Now there's going to be public hearings. We're not sure how soon they're going to start, but we're entering a new phase now.
Starting today.
Starting today after that vote.
All right. Thank you, Sandra.
Thanks, Sandra.
Well, ahead at 5 o'clock, Representative Katie Hill calls it quits.
I'm leaving because of a misogynistic culture that gleefully consumed my naked pictures.
More of the California Congresswoman's revealing swan song on the House floor.
Plus, a UFC heavyweight stepdaughter disappears. Was she harmed? The fighter addresses new evidence of foul play.
And a grave mistake, possibly. A family fights to honor their dead son's spirit, but many say they're crossing a line.
Morongo, the good life, good times.
The game of football is about pain. 7 years old until I stopped playing at 31. I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
Try them for yourself with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Tonight on ET, Alex Trebek's cancer fight, revealing the signs he missed.
I wish I had known sooner.
Plus, Bob Saget speaks out on Lori Loughlin's college scam scandal.
I have empathy. I don't cut people out.
Then,
welcome to Halloween on ET.
Only we're behind the scenes of Heidi Klum's big costume reveal. And we're ghostbusting with Dan Aykroyd.
Who are you gonna call?
Not me! Next ET. Tonight at 7:30 on CBS 2.
Yellow shirt.
I guess life comes down to a couple moments, and you are in every single one of them. I want to feel alive, want you by my side. Take me back to where we were. I'll be a passenger.
SCAN Health Plan is a plan that is truly here for their members.
Members are the most important thing.
When you call us, you'll always get a live person. That live person is committed to you and your particular needs.
We cover your prescriptions, we cover your doctor, we cover your hospital. You only need one plan.
Speak with SCAN about the benefits and extras you need for 2020. It's time for a better Medicare Advantage experience. Call SCAN today or ask your agent about SCAN.
When lives are on the line, Los Angeles County firefighter paramedics respond. We're not just a fire department. We respond to 1,000 medical calls a day. Over the past 10 years, medical calls have spiked, but funding hasn't kept up. Today, we need more resources to respond to fires, medical emergencies, and other 911 calls, and ensure proper emergency care. Please take our survey online and tell us what's important to you.
The hero dog photo President Trump tweeted that's causing a stir. What does this hero say about his photo being replaced by a dog?
You don't think it was disrespectful?
Next, Inside Edition.
Tonight at 7 on CBS 2. Tonight at 11, food delivery services. It's big business. And for some delivery drivers, the temptation is too strong.
Hey, we've been watching you, and you ate the food?
See what could be happening with your next delivery.
You eat the food that you're going to deliver?
Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS 2 News at 5 p.m.
Today is the first time I've left my apartment since the photos, taken without my consent, were released, and I'm scared.
Local Congresswoman Katie Hill gave her final speech on Capitol Hill today. Her last day is actually tomorrow, following the sex scandal involving nude pictures and alleged inappropriate affairs. The politician, who turned a traditionally Republican district Democratic last year, resigned over the controversy that she is blaming on her estranged husband.
But how are the people who put her in office taking all of this? Well, CBS 2's Randy Page is live in Santa Clarita to find out. Randy.
Well, Pat, nobody home at Katie Hill's district office.
This is the last speech that I will give from this floor as a member of Congress.
Today, a farewell. Less than 2 years ago, a long shot victory.
Oh my God.
Katie Hill was virtually unknown as a politician when she ran against incumbent Republican Steve Knight in California's 25th district. It was the first time this executive of a homeless nonprofit had ever run for public office. And with this victory, her meteoric rise began. The freshman congresswoman was named vice chair of the powerful Oversight and Reform Committee led by Elijah Cummings, one of the 6 committees actively investigating the impeachment of Donald Trump. And then earlier this month, while in the middle of a nasty divorce, a conservative website posted intimate photos of Katie Hill with a campaign aide, and allegations surfaced of an affair with a member of her congressional staff. A House Ethics Committee investigation got underway, and today, Katie Hill explained her resignation.
Today is the first time I've left my apartment since the photos, taken without my consent, were released, and I'm scared. I'm leaving because for the sake of my community, my staff, my family, and myself, I can't allow this to continue.
Today, the LA Times is reporting the main authors of some of the articles on those conservative websites were former campaign advisors to Steve Knight, the incumbent congressman she defeated. And the LA Times reports Knight is considering a run to win back his House seat. We were unable to get a hold of Steve Knight today. We called the last number we have from him, but there was no answer. We can tell you, though, that Steve Knight told the LA Times in a public statement that neither he nor anyone involved in his 2018 campaign had anything to do with the release of private information involving Katie Hill. Live in Santa Clarita, Randy Page, CBS 2 News. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Randy. Now, it didn't take long for the terror group ISIS to name its new leader. According to the site intelligence group, Abu Ibrahim al-Hashemi is the new caliph, replacing Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who blew himself up during a raid on Saturday. Not much is known about the new leader. ISIS has warned Americans not to rejoice in al-Baghdadi's killing. And you may have heard about the dog that was wounded during that raid in northern Syria. Well, today we know his name. It is Conan. And Conan chased down the former ISIS leader during that operation. President Trump, who tweeted out a declassified photo of the heroic dog, says Conan will visit the White House next week.
All right, we're just hours away from one of the biggest Halloween events in the country. Hundreds of thousands of people getting ready for the famous West Hollywood Carnival. Several streets are already closed as they're getting ready to welcome all the revelers to Santa Monica Boulevard. There's some already there. The Carnival starts tonight at 6 o'clock. It's, of course, totally free, but we should tell parents, you got to take note here. It really is an adult-themed Halloween party, so probably best to leave the kids at home.
Even though you see a walking green dinosaur there. I hear that Tapeface might make a showing at the Halloween.
I'm not familiar with Tapeface.
Tapeface was very popular.
Is that right?
Yeah, Tapeface was popular.
Okay.
You know, it used to be the Castro District had the biggest one in the country, and then, boy, West Hollywood, WeHo just really
took over.
Yeah, it took that thing over. So have fun if you're going out there. Hey, bundle up, everybody. Maybe nothing off shoulder tonight. It's going to get cold. 78 degrees tonight. Winds are calm. Humidity 7%. Look at the dew point, you guys. 7%. It is still very, very dry out there. Great news, though. The winds are starting to abate. We're going to still pick a little northwest wind action up tonight, but it shouldn't be anything strong. We'll get a little bit out the northwest. Right now, there are the sustained winds. Nothing major. What a huge difference, thankfully. 61 Lancaster, 50 in a Big Bear. 82 right now, Fullerton, and 74 at the airport. So we've certainly warmed up from yesterday as we've stopped slamming some of that cold air down towards the surface. But because the atmosphere is getting a little quieter, it's going to really chill out tonight. Made it up to 79 degrees, the average coming in at 76. Pat, are you posting that picture of me? I thought so.
As you
I'm being
speak.
held hostage around here. That'll be apparent. Pat has finally figured out a way to silence me, Tapeface. All right. Hey, there are red flag warnings. They continue through now 6 o'clock tomorrow. So we're going to leave these online because of the dry conditions and still some of the winds. So they're almost out of here. It's precautionary to be most because all those high wind warnings are now gone and wind advisories as well. But there are the freeze advisories we've been talking about. Pick an area north of Wainimi up and towards Ventura, and then you can see up towards the high deserts. And for our friends down in the Inland Empire, you'll pick it up. Please get your animals inside. Bundle the kids up as they head out tonight. And here we go with the winds. You can see more out of the northwest as we make our way throughout the evening in through through tomorrow. We'll drift a little more offshore. Nothing super strong, but things are just so dry. That's why we're going to stay under red flag conditions for the next couple of days. You can see them picking up for the next day. By Friday, tomorrow morning at 8:30, we'll get another little uptick in it, but I still think we stay below advisory levels. So thankfully the worst is done. But once again, be vigilant. Be careful out there. We do have a ridge sitting offshore and several troughs that are going to continue to drop down due to the interior. You can see it through buildings there and a high building in. So the difference between these two, not as tight as they were yesterday, that will allow those winds to start to release throughout the area and make, hopefully after tomorrow especially, a much quieter weather pattern for everybody. So for Halloween, 79 today it was. Downtown was 80. The Valley's 79. So make your way through the weekend. You can see what's going on. Then we'll start to bring back the clocks on Saturday night, Sunday morning. But as today was just perfect. Tomorrow, a little bit warmer. We hold that way into the weekend. All in all, just very, very nice. Thankfully, calm kind of weather. Once again, please be careful. Remember, there's power out in some areas. Children are out doing their trick-or-treating as well. And have a really peaceful, nice, quiet, fun Halloween. I think everybody deserves it after what's been going on for the last several days. Back to you guys.
Yeah, good perspective. You're right. Ahead at 5, a tourist attraction's dose of truth.
The exhibit was all fun and games until one woman made a life-altering discovery she never expected.
Plus, a high-end hotel is looking for a fur butler. Yep, that's right, for that guy right there. What it takes to be this pup's personal assistant.
This is the Nutrisystem sale you don't want to miss.
Introducing the 2-for-1 sale. Get 2 months of food for the price of 1. It's like getting a month of food free. Enjoy your favorite foods made healthier. Perfectly balanced to put your body in fat-burning mode. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month.
I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds with Nutrisystem.
I lost 60 pounds with Nutrisystem.
Count, measure, meetings? Not with Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day plan right now. You'll get specially designed meals.
You get the right foods in the right portions, so you learn how to keep the weight off.
Plus 1 week of Fresh Start shakes with probiotics to shrink your belly free.
There's even a money-back guarantee.
This sale won't last. Get 2 months of food for the price of 1. Good on every plan until you reach your weight loss goals.
Call or go online right now.
Go online or call 877-421-FIT8 right now to get 2 for the price of 1, plus probiotic shakes free.
Attention anyone on Medicare. The Medicare annual enrollment period is now open. Did you know you may now be eligible for additional Medicare approved benefits, including dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage? The Medicare Benefits Helpline is now open to help anyone on Medicare make sure you are getting the benefits you deserve. Just call 800-481-6914 now to find out if you're eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan that includes additional benefits like dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage. Just call the toll-free number on your screen now to make sure you're getting the additional benefits that meet your needs. The Medicare Benefits Helpline is now open. Call to see if you qualify for additional benefits, including dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drugs. Call 800-481-6914 to see if you're now eligible for additional benefits. There is no obligation to enroll. The call and Medicare benefits review are absolutely free. Just call 800-481-6914. 800-481-6914.
This one is mammogram level tight.
Don't knock mammograms. They've saved millions of lives, including mine.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go for your screenings?
This open enrollment, whether you have or are applying for Medicare, Medi-Cal, private insurance, or want to choose another plan, let us walk you through your options for free. We're here for you and your family to help you grow healthy every day, at any age. Ultimed, your community health network.
Tony Tantillo is brought to you by Taylor Farms Stir Fry Kits, a flavorful and delicious meal in minutes. Save time to make time with Taylor Farms.
One woman's fun outing ended up changing her life.
She walked through a popular tourist attraction and spotted something unusual that turned out to be a pretty big deal. 41-year-old Val Gill was looking at thermal images from her trip to Edinburgh's Camera Obscura exhibit when she noticed a heat patch over her breast. Well, she made an appointment with her doctor and she was diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer. The thermal imaging camera may have worked for Gill, but experts do not recommend using the devices for cancer screening purposes.
Still, wow.
Yeah, lucky she caught it, right?
Yes, amazing.
And if you are a dog lover, you may want to respond to a Help Wanted ad at the St. Regis in Aspen.
Yeah, the mountain resort is seeking a full-time fur butler. Yep, you heard me right. It's a dog lover's dream gig looking after the resort's Burmese mountain dog. The dog's name is Kitty, by the way. The lucky candidate will tend to Kitty's every need while also handling his busy schedule, including play dates, in-house and airport greetings, and property tours.
Well, no treats on Wall Street on this Halloween session of the stock market. The Dow Jones Industrials fell 140 points. The Nasdaq closed down 11.5, and the S&P 500 was off 9 points. Well, still to come on CBS 2 News at 5, an Uber cover-up